Okay, so let's look at what we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 x's, and since this is positive, we know it's going up. So we know it's going to be x to the 4th power. I do know x to the 4th if I'm doing the quick graph, which I'm not going to quite do it because, oh, I guess I could do it with the zeros. It's going to be like an x squared, which is like a u, which means it starts from the top. So it's going to start from the top. My zeros are 1, -2, 3, and 5. So let me write that. 1, -2, 3, 5, written as x-intercepts 1, 0, -2, 0, 3, 0, and 5, 0. Okay. To get the y-intercept, what I need to do is plug in 0 for my x. So I'm going to go 0 minus 1 times 0 plus 2, 0 minus 3, 0 minus 5. So I get -1 times 2 times -3 times -5. 3 negatives means it's going to stay negative. 1 times 2, 2, 6, 30. Okay. Now, I know that you don't have a calculator, but I want you to see that if it was up here and I started going, it wouldn't make sense that it was up there. So I know that it has to be negative. So 0, -30. Let me highlight and show that my y-intercept is because I plugged in 0. And there's how I got my answer. Okay? So now I can quick graph. I'm kind of the person I'd rather get that out of the way. So I know that it needs to go, start from the top, go through. Now I need to get to here, to the 1, go through, go through, go through. Now as soon as I see my quick graph, as long as ours look kind of comparable, yours could go higher, lower, whatever. We could do the end behavior as x approaches -infinity, f of x approaches. As x approaches positive infinity, f of x approaches. Well, this one's going up and this one's going up. So it's both positive infinity. The next one, domain. Domain is everything to the right, or to the left and everything to the right. All real numbers. -infinity to positive infinity. Okay. The range is going to be based on how I graphed it. So I graphed that the lowest point was here. If you went down like this, and you decided that was -40, then it needs to correspond. But I feel like the easiest thing is to just make that y-intercept the lowest point. So y is, since it's going up, greater than or equal to -30, which means it's going from -30 to positive infinity. Now, obviously, you don't have to go in the same order as me. It doesn't matter. This is just what I'm doing. So this is -infinity. This is positive infinity. I'm going to fake some values. So I'm going to make this 2, because it's in between 1 and 3, 2, 6, whatever. And this is in between. I'm going to make this 4, since it's down -1. So if I'm going to do my intervals increasing and decreasing, I'm going to focus on the x values, 0, -30. Okay. So let's start from here. From here to here, it's decreasing, -infinity to 0. From here to here, it's increasing, 0 to 2. From here to here, it's decreasing, 2, 4. And from here to here, it's increasing, 4, positive infinity. Now, since I established those points, I need to follow suit. So the max, there technically is no max, but there's a relative max that I made of 2, 6. There is a minimum, and that's 0, -30. Factored form, I will rewrite it. Y equals x minus 1, x plus 2, x minus 3, x minus 5. Now to get standard form, don't worry, you'll have space on your test. I'm going to rewrite this down here, x minus 1, x plus 2, x minus 3, x minus 5. So I just have to multiply it out. So you know me in negatives. Two numbers that add and multiply. And honestly, I think I'm going to multiply these two also and just do a 3 by 3. So two numbers that add and multiply. And then what I'm going to do now is I can see it's a 3 by 3. So I'm going to do my 3 by 3 box. And so that you don't have to watch me do the 3 by 3 box, I'll pause this, and then I'll fill in all the boxes, and then we'll write the answers together, plus 15. Okay, let me pause it. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 0. I see there's a pattern, which means the only mistakes I could have made are multiplying numbers. So x to the 4th, These are my 2x to the thirds with an imaginary 1. Negative 7x cubed. 15 minus 8 is 7. Minus 2 is 5. So those are together. And then 16 plus 15 is 31x minus 30. Since this is the no calculator section, I can't check it. But I'm going to take this answer and I'm going to rewrite it here. So y equals x to the fourth minus 7x cubed plus 5x squared plus 31x minus 30. Okay? So that problem, done. Let's go to the next page. Okay. We're going to play the same game for this one. So the x-intercepts are at negative 3, 0, but there's going to be a bounce, and at 0, 0. Which means if I know the x-intercept is 0, 0, I know the y-intercept is 0, 0, but I'll just show my work anyways. 2 times 0, 0 plus 3 squared. 0 times anything is 0. There's my work for the y-intercept. Okay. The zeros and the roots are negative 3, and there's 2 of them, so I have to write multiplicity 2 and 0. So I know that if it's 3, it's cubic. My zeros are at 0 and negative 3. It's positive, so it's going up. So, I'm sorry, it's cubic, so it's going up. But a cubic makes me think of a line, and a line starts from the bottom. So I'm going to start from the bottom. But as soon as I get to negative 3, I'm going to follow my own directions, and I'm going to bounce it. But then I have to make sure I get through the 0. Okay? So, factored form. Done. I'll make this the value negative 1, negative 7. This is negative infinity, positive infinity, intervals. It's negative 3, 0. It's increasing from negative infinity to negative 3. It's decreasing from negative 3 to negative 1. It's increasing from negative 1 to positive infinity. Remember, whatever points, you don't have to do the exact same points as me, but you need to make sure that whatever points you use, it matches your answers. Okay? Domain, left, right, up, down. There's no min and there's no max, but there's a relative max. So relatively speaking, that's the highest point. Relatively speaking, that's the lowest point. End behavior as x approaches negative infinity, f of x approaches as x approaches positive infinity, f of x approaches. On the negative side, it's going down, and on the positive side, it's going up. This one went a little bit more quickly because it wasn't as high of a power. Now all that's left to do is put that in standard form. So let me do that. So I'm going to go x plus 3 squared times 2x. So that's x plus 3 times x plus 3. Two numbers that add, two numbers that multiply. Now multiply that by 2x. 2x cubed plus 12x squared plus 18x. And then I have to make sure that I put y equals, because that's how the problem said. So let me write that down. Y equals 2x cubed plus 12x squared plus 18x. Okay, let me give you a second to see that. And that's the second one. Okay, so there should be going forevers here. So if you see that going forever, the domain is all real numbers. The range is all real numbers. Negative infinity to positive infinity. Negative infinity to positive infinity. Now, I have to tell you that unfortunately this didn't show up very well, so we're going to fake it here together. I can't really see it, so we're going to hope for the best. Okay. All right. So on the test, you'll be able to see it. I checked it. So if you look, the minimum, so negative infinity, positive infinity. My zeros are 3, 0. We'll make this 2. I'll make it 1, negative 3. I promise you on the test you'll be able to read it, so don't worry. Okay? Probably should have made that out. I should have made that perfect. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So negative 1, 0, negative 5, 0. Okay. The y-intercept is 0, -2. I know it got a little bit messy. I really apologize for that. But let me focus on the zeros, because they need the answer in factored form and standard form. So I need the zeros. Do the opposite, x plus 5, x plus 1, x minus 3. But the problem is there's a y-intercept that I have to acknowledge. So that's where I did the whole highlighter thing, and you have to figure out what number goes in there. And I'm going to put the number 0, -2, because it has to go through that y-intercept. So then I get -2 equals, now I know Mr. Osborne puts an A, so that works. Put an A if you want. I can do both. 5 times 1 times -3. -15a equals -2. A equals 2/15. So my answer in factored form is, it says function, so I have to go f of x. 2/15 times x plus 5 times x plus 1 times x minus 3. You know I'm going to worry about standard form later because that seems like a pain in the tush. Okay, so relatively speaking, there is no max, but I'm going to make it, remember, as long as we fake it, -3, 3. So relatively speaking, that's my max. There is no minimum, but relatively speaking, 1, -3 is my minimum, as long as it matches. Intervals. The intervals are all based on your x. So -∞ to -3 is my increase. -3. Now remember, we're not going to here. We're not going to here. We got to go to the bottom because we're going down, 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 down until we hit that 1, -3. So down from -3 to 1. And then we're going up. Don't stop the x-intercept. We're going up, up, up until we hit positive infinity. So that's 1 to positive infinity. Okay? I just need to put this answer in standard form. Let me go like this. X plus 5, x plus 1, x minus 3 times 2/15. You know me, and I'm going to take care of this last. So I multiply these two. Two numbers that add, two numbers that multiply, and then multiply by x minus 3. You'll probably do a 2 by 2 box, or 2 by 3 box, and that's fine. I'm going to do this in my head. Just takes a second. -3x squared plus 6x squared plus 3x squared. 5x minus 18x is -13x minus 15. Then multiply that by 2/15. Therefore, my answer is f of x equals distribute 2/15 x cubed. Now, this one's definitely more of a pain. I haven't seen the test, so I don't know if it's going to be a pain. Times 3 over 1. 3 goes into 15 5 times. So it's plus 3/5 x squared. 2/15 times -13. I can't cross cancel, so 2 times 13 is -26 over 15x. And then I'm going to go 2/15 times -15. 15 over 15 is -1. 2 times -1 is -2. So now this answer, I'm going to write right up there. Okay, so let me do that right now. F of x, I know I didn't leave much room. So if that happens on the test, and I didn't leave much room, I'm just going to go like this. Because that's kind of ridiculous. I didn't give you very much room. And there's the answer right there. You know you can't check it in the calculator for the test, because you can't use a calculator. Please study. Test is on the first part of Wednesday. Worth 25 points to get a total of 100 for Unit 3.